Hello, everyone. Well, I introduced the date in the middle of the night, but I'm gonna say it again. It's Thursday, September 11th, 2025 at 2:06 p.m. in the afternoon. Oh, now it's saying 2:07. So, excuse me. I don't remember how long. Well, I went to bed at like 1:30 this morning. I was disappointed in myself because I was supposed to go to bed sooner than that. But I woke up, the final wake up, because you go to sleep and wake up to use the bathroom a few times. But the final wake up was 11:26 a.m. this morning. Excuse me. So it was 11:26 this morning that I woke up. And so far as I know, tonight is the last night of me being here, and I'm scheduled to check out tomorrow morning. Well, tomorrow at noon. But I'm trying to ask for help for more hotel nights, and also um you know trying to get help for something like a decent meal to eat. This morning late this morning, early this afternoon, I had nothing but junk food, because that was all I have. So I just had, the other half a bag of chips, those guacamole chips that I had, you know, and also I had excuse me, cinnamon graham crackers and a pack of those chocolate nutty buddy bars. That was all I had. And I had some more pineapple juice. So I don't know what, tears coming out my eyes a little bit. So they manipulated the numbers for my YouTube payment for this coming month. For this month, like 10, let me see. Yeah, I think it'll be in 10 more days. And it will be enough for just one hotel night plus maybe a meal or two. But I probably won't be able to get the hotel night because I have things that I need. I need to get some more of these earbuds, and I need to get me some more bentonite clay, and not sure what else I need. But yeah. So I try to inquire with Uber about the status of the application. They're still saying it's pending, but it's been over a week. They said it would take 3 to 5 business days, but it's been over a week. The motor vehicle thingy is clear, but you know, with the background check, with the stalkers illegally swatting me and me having to fight criminal charges, that's setting me back and hurting me, hindering me. And I don't even know if me being homeless is also setting me back or hindering me, But yeah. And like they've been having certain jobs that I've been applying for that flat out ignore me. You know, excuse me. So, um, so it's like I'm trying what I could. You know, I've been trying off and on to do things to help myself to be more independent, and then end up, you know, being rejected repeatedly. And then sometimes I get frustrated and give up temporarily, but then I get back on and try to make attempts at you know, trying again, you know. But that with the me being illegally swatted and wrongfully thrown in jail and stuff, a lot of times that holds me back. And also, I lost my brother last year, and even immediately after losing him, people didn't even give me the time to grieve because they thought I didn't deserve the right to grieve and mourn. And they were already, I mean, today makes one exact year from the time when I got wrongfully kicked out of and banned from um Econo Lodge in Gretna, which was a new hotel at the time. And I was forced to have to live stream, and my life was almost taken. And and nobody would have been charged with murder or like an indirect kind of murder, or what certain people would say negligent homicide or something. But they were trying to kill me last year. Even the day before, there was a teenager at that hotel that was trying to murder me. And so certain people might say, well, that was a blessing in disguise, or don't look down on it because that was God taking you out of that situation, or, you know, that's what certain people would have said. But, the fake hotel manager or owner or whatever was violent towards me, you know. And the fact if someone will try to have you kicked out of somewhere during the smack dab middle of a hurricane or snow or whatever you're going through, because then that other motel next door to that place, this past January, it was 2 days after snowfall and they still had snow on the ground, and I was wrongfully kicked out of and banned from that from that motel. But you want to know something? That motel, I think it was like a 5 or 10. No, it was no deposit. No, it was no deposit. But on the app that I use to stay here is cheaper than over there. And this place, from what I've seen, every room that I've been in, this place is much cleaner, and there's no roaches here. No roaches here. So I'm glad I don't have to. I don't see roaches at this hotel. But at that motel was $80. and roaches galore. So, but yeah. So that would have been like 560 a week. But here, if it weren't for the app, I think they were saying it was like almost 800, 7 or 800 a week to stay here. But with the app, it seems like since I got up to I mean here it says platinum, but I don't know. I mean not with the hotel, but it's a third party app. I'm not saying what it is because of the stalkers, but I don't know if I'm at the highest level, but it says platinum, but I don't know if they have diamond member or nothing like that. Excuse me, but I don't know if they have diamond member, but platinum with this hotel, it's like I've been saving like a whole lot of money, and and um and then it does depend on what day of the week it is too, and it seems like the more hotel nights I have in a row, that's the larger amount of money that I would save, excuse me. So with when I live streamed couple of nights ago, like 2 or 3 nights ago, I thought it was Sunday, huh? Sunday or was it Monday? I don't remember, but I thought it was Sunday, and so then for Monday night through Wednesday night, I booked 3 nights, and then it turned out to be like for 3 nights I think it was $120 something. Was it 120 or no? I gotta go double check. No, was it 120 or I don't remember. I have to go and double check. Excuse me. I don't remember if it was 120 or 180. But I do remember it was under $200, and I was able to save like a whole lot, you know. But they were being like, so it's like basically now that I've leveled up to platinum, um, it's like I've been spending like maybe $60 a night during the weekdays, and then the weekends more like 70 or 80, and no deposit. And the stalking cult, the perps are trying to ruin it here. They're trying to ruin it for me to, not be able to stay here, you know. And they had that motel in Marrero that was $60 a night, but I think they were like a $10 key deposit. But they had lots of roaches. But then they wanted to kick me out because the stalkers illegally found out. And you know what? How did they find out where I was at? And I had the phone camera facing me. I don't even think I live streamed. I don't recall live streaming, or I think I wasn't sure if I did or not. But my phone data over there was extremely slow, and the stalkers were illegally able to track that I was there, and they got me wrongfully kicked out of and banned from what's that place after the Econo with the hurricane last year. Then earlier this year they got me wrongfully kicked out of and banned from the Deluxe Inn Motel And they kept saying, we're going to get you banned, we're going to get you banned. And then, um, and then it's like, the guy who I thought was the owner, the young Indian guy, he said, my boss says to check you out. And I said, for what? I mean, he said, well, oh, there were so many people calling, making complaints. But making complaints about what? You know, and the fake Erica Frost perp threatened to call up Deluxe Inn Motel and tell a lie and say that I'm a pedophile that molests kids and that I'm a pedophile apologist. Or that I defend pedos or something like that. And none of that's true. You know, so, but, so basically I got wrongfully kicked out of and banned during the 2 days after the snow, the rare snow that happened, you know, the blizzard that happened. And then 2 days after that, there was still snow on the ground. And then the stalkers were like, yeah, jail should be your home, you know, and you should yeah, let jail be your roof over your head out of the cold. And the stalking cult, they were hoping that I die. And then they illegally planted a homeless perp with bed bugs that time. And I didn't know until after I got into at the hotel. And I think it was a double whammy to make sure I had bed bugs. Because when I went to ask earlier about the hotel, they had a white female named Mia that was at the front desk at the Comfort Suites in Harvey, and she was rude to me, you know. And I was trying to get rid of the bed bugs on my own naturally, you know, and I didn't realize it was that severe. So I was given a room that already had bed bugs, and then they had that homeless perp that was illegally planted there. So they wanted to make sure I had it. She was rude and acting like she didn't want me there. And I didn't, like, coming from the Deluxe Inn Motel, I didn't have bed bugs at that time. And then it took me like from January all the way through the month of April for me to be completely clear. Completely and totally clear. You know, well, I guess it was April once I realized that I was totally clear, you know. But, you know, I kept fighting and fighting and fighting to get rid of them. And having to fight on my own. And that was the worst that I ever had, to deal with bed bugs inside of my ears and my nose and stuff. And I'm glad I don't have to experience that anymore. I mean, I'm glad I don't have that anymore. You know. And then, so I've been spraying, like, rubbing alcohol like crazy during those times, you know. And lots of lavender oil. And like, I had to use the lavender oil untraditionally or in kind of like a harmful way in order to get rid of them. Excuse me. You know, for me to just dump pure plain lavender oil on my bags, or me to wash my clothes and dump lots of lavender oil to try to get rid of, and then take a shower with lavender oil soap. And so I try as best as I can to keep, you know, lavender oil and the rubbing alcohol, you know. Excuse me. But they did that on purpose. And then it was hard for me to get help out of the snow. You know, I was trying to raise funds for help. And I explained about being, sabotaged and set up and wrongfully kicked out of that that motel. And then later on that night, I tried to get into, and it was damn near midnight when I finally was able to get the funds donated to get into the comfort suites in Harvey. And the stalkers were trying to hunt for where I'm at and it was creepy that they already knew the precise, proximity. They knew the exact area where I was at, and then they're trying to hunt for, and they admitted that they were trying to call up all the hotels in the area to try to smear I'm talking about the YouTube gang stalkers trying to get me wrongfully kicked out of and banned, and because they were hoping that I freeze to death. They were hoping that I die. Maliciously hoping that I die. Because they illegally sent that homeless female perp druggie to follow me to that Paco's Tacos on Manhattan and Harvey. That bedbug infested homeless druggie perp. They planted her, or they probably paid her to come and follow me and invade my personal space. And then later on that night, I wasn't even itching and I was freezing cold and fighting to get help with more hotel nights out of the cold. And then, multiple times I've had to experience certain cold weather where I would end up like my hands starting to lock up on me, and I could feel my blood freezing within seconds, and feel like even in 40-degree weather, feeling like I'm about to roll over and just die. And that's what the stalkers were saying. I hope you die of hypothermia. And then, and I had no place else where I could go take a shower, so they would lie on me, and they got me wrongfully kicked out of, I think it was called Siesta Motel in Marrero. And that guy that kicked me out, he wasn't even the owner or the manager. He was just a worker, and he was a perp. And then I kept trying to call and defend and explain myself, and it was a black female that said, "Oh, you banned from here, you trespass from here. It's because of your YouTube videos." And I'm like, "But what about my YouTube? It's just because of your YouTube videos. It's because of your YouTube videos." And that was, and I hadn't even exposed that hotel at that time. And she said, "Oh, it's because of your YouTube videos." And so then, she hung up in my face and then persistently ignored my calls. It was a black female, but it was a white female that told me that it's illegal for them to confirm or deny that you stay here. At such and such hotel or whatever. And especially if they don't know your room number, then you're not allowed, then the workers, if they don't know your room number, then they're not allowed to give out any information. But the stalkers have illegally stepped their game up and physically coming in person to hotels, showing them my YouTube videos and spreading lies and having me wrongfully kicked out and banned. And so they lied on me and got me wrongfully kicked out of and banned from Sleep In. They nearly succeeded at getting me wrongfully banned from Suburban Studios in Avondale. And I don't know if I'm still allowed to go back, but I haven't been back over there since late March. And they try to get me wrongfully banned from you know, one of the hotels in West Wego. And I don't know if I'm allowed to go back there or not. Um, and this was long after the bed bug situation, after I got everything cleared up, you know. But it's like, well, where could I go where I could clean myself off and get my clothes washed? And, it's like I can't be anywhere. But they maliciously planted for this to happen because they were hoping that I get no hotel anywhere so that I could die out in the cold. And they were trying to do satanic sacrifice rituals. And fake Damnesia had been illegally finding out my location and then tell other stalkers. And so now it's more than one perp illegally publicizing my location. And so lately I've been going to like 2 different hotels lately, mainly this one, but there's another one I've been going to. Oh yeah, there was a third one that I went to recently, last month, but I can't. But someone else had paid for that for me, and I can't afford with my own money on my own. I can't afford to go there, But it was a nice, really nice hotel that could also be used for extended stay, but that place costing like a whole over $900 per week. That I don't have funds for that, So, but yeah, it was over $900 a week to stay over there, you know. But as I said, it's creepy with them illegally having their hands on my location at all times, even when I'm without a phone. Because certain people say it's satellites and microchips and all that, So, if anyone's watching this, I'm trying to get help with funds for more hotel nights. I mean, for this hotel, if I'm allowed to be here still, it would, like, I think it might be like 70 or $80 per night on the weekends. But if I had like multiple nights, that's the more I save. And then I also get some earned little bit of cash back. I mean, not cash back, but credits, financial credits back. Like, you know, so the stalkers, they feel like me being housed and independent, even if I was working and had my own money and whatever, that's a scam to them because they can't control me. In their minds, they feel like my independence and freedom is a scam and a fraud to them because they can't control and manipulate me. Or if other people are supporting and helping me, then they can't control and manipulate me. So in their minds, they feel like, oh, that's a scam. So for me to try to yeah, and there's other hotels that the stalking cult, that they got me wrongfully banned from. Of course, me being wrongfully banned from all Wyndham hotels. Well, I was told all Wyndham hotels by the lady at the one in Metairie, but certain Wyndham hotels say that I'm not banned. Some of them say that I am. Some of them say, and I'm like, well, is it okay if I go there? They say, yeah, but I don't know if certain systems updated later, but all because the stalkers took old videos from me filming and recording one of the staff that was abusive towards me. I don't think that should have warranted me being kicked out of and banned from all hotels for the rest of my life. She should have got fired. And she don't even she hates doing her job, and she got a bitch bad attitude like every day coming to work. And a lot of people were making complaints about those breakfast attendants over there at that La Quinta Hotel on Williams Boulevard in Kenner, right near the airport. And also the stalking cult, they have been trying to get me wrongfully kicked out of and banned from Red Roof Inn. But Red Roof Inn, I quit going because the beds are so filthy and disgusting. And I think they had roaches and stuff and flies or whatever too. So that's why I personally quit going to both locations. I went to the one in Kenner by the airport one time, and the stalkers illegally found out where I was at. And the one that's I don't know if that's Harvey or Marrero, but it's like right, on a borderline between Harvey and Marrero. That Red Roof Inn, the stalkers were trying to get me wrongfully kicked out of and banned. And the sheets were so disgusting. The rooms were like, that place needs to be demolished. That place needs to be shut down. And it was still kind of like more expensive than what I'm paying here. So this right here, it's a decent hotel, decent and clean. So but yeah, the stalkers are still talking about how they're planning my demise. That's frightening. And I'm still feeling scared about going back on the streets. But the stalking cult, like, I'm not allowed to be at the same place for a long time. I'm not allowed to eat at the same restaurant for a long time, or a coffee shop or whatever. Or I'm not allowed to be at the same hotel or house or apartment for a long period of time. I'm not allowed to go to the same church for a long period of time. Not allowed to, for them to feel like, okay, you've worn out your welcome, so we're going to try to do things to get you kicked out. Or they feel like you've been in the same area for a long period of time, so they feel like, okay, you worn out your welcome. But sometimes I might end up being my first time ever going to such and such a, restaurant, and then within less than 5 minutes, I'm already having an altercation with perps and getting wrongfully kicked out of and banned. And that's what people say about people in the TI community, that if you're a real targeted individual, you're basically kicked out of society or banned from society because of Freemasons sending their puppets to tell a bunch of lies on you. But they have more things I want to and need to talk about. But but I can't. I can't right now, and I can't yet. But I feel like the day passed me up, so I'm gonna get off here, and it's 2:42 p.m. in the afternoon right now. I'm gonna get off here, and I'm gonna try to live stream this evening, trying to get help with more hotel nights and trying to get help with something to eat for dinner. And I don't want any Illuminati fake fast food. Like, I'm trying to get, like, the food that I've been eating. But I love y'all, and I'll talk to y'all later. In the meantime, I'm going to try to listen to the Bible earlier today. And then also work on my writings. Maybe work on a novel, continue to work on a novel, or to maybe start on a couple of new short stories or something. But I'll update y'all. All right, I love y'all.